A major war is about to take place between the Jewish people and their rabbis, who have been undermining the Jewish heritage of godliness for more than 2,000 years. Jesus knew what sort of people they were, and when he said what he thought, they had him murdered. The rabbis would have preferred to get rid of his colleague Yonatan the Apostle John in the same brutal way, but they were afraid of the political outcry, and had to settle for banishing him to the barren island of Patmos for the rest of his life. The rabbis were then able to continue with their plan for total control of the Jewish people, by filling their minds with garbage that always favored the rabbis. They have never stopped doing this, and have crammed their own ideas into the Jews, and this includes the Talmud, which is nothing but drivel that doesn't call for decent Jewish conduct. For example, when the Nazis accused the Jews of heinous deeds, the Jews were so full of rabbinical trash that they were unable to reply. At any rate, many centuries ago, some devout people in Israel became convinced that the rabbis intended to do away with the covenant altogether. In other words, there would be rabbinical garbage but no more 10 Commandments. The covenant would be what the rabbis decided it would be, and the covenant would no longer exist at all. And these horrified people decided to establish a community at Qumran, disguised as a pottery factory, where they would write multiple copies of all the biblical books. They intended that this project would preserve the covenant for humankind in future times. They intended to carry out the work in extreme secrecy, with contacts in Jerusalem who could warn them if the rabbis ever found out what was taking place at Qumran, and were sending the Romans to destroy the community. In the end, someone at Qumran betrayed the community, and the rabbis did indeed send the Romans to destroy the project. But luckily for the modern world, the community was alerted just in time, and managed to conceal their scrolls in nearby caves near the Dead Sea, before being butchered by the Romans. These are the scrolls that are now preserved at the Shrine of the Book in Jerusalem. And Christians should reflect that Jesus himself had taken refuge at Qumran for a while, and the scrolls may indeed contain his handwriting. It is worth visiting the Shrine of the Book just in case one sees something that he wrote. We urge you to register and join the struggle to preserve the covenant for humankind. Paul Kaplan, author.